funding waistline tends to slow most equity funds. But the HDFC Top 200 fund shows no signs of tiring from its large asset size. With over 10,000 crores worth of assets under management, it's not only the biggest equity fund in India, but also the second best performer in its category over the last 10 years. Thanks to consistent and skilled management by Prashant Jain, who has led the fund for nearly a decade. The most attractive aspect of this fund is its ability to protect investors' wealth during market downturns. In 2008, the fund lost 45%, which was around 11% less than the BSE 200 and around 8% lower than the category average. Let's take a look at some numbers. If you invested 1,000 rupees in this fund when it was launched, you would have 17,130 rupees today.
Thanks, Avaro. The HDFC Top 200 is a large cap fund that has performed really well through its life. But in a market like this, where we saw large caps take that beating in the beginning of the fall in that market, how would you rate this fund's ability to keep its head above water?
This fund also faces, in the middle of a falling market, it falls. I think where this fund does extremely well is the last leg of a bull market, and it generally has avoided over the past 3 market cycle over the past 20 years. It has avoided the hottest part of the market, and has been able to escape a complete collapse when it has collapsed. We saw it in 2008, we saw it in 2001, I think there lies the strength of this fund. And otherwise, this fund typically does little better than the market or its peers, and that's it. And that translates into a very decent margin for investors.
Right, and every time we talk about HDFC Top 200 in someone's portfolio, and we're talking about the long term, you normally recommend that they go into a slightly wider fund with a more flexible approach to the investment universe. Tell us what sort of investors should be considering the HDFC Top 200 fund.
The expectation from this fund should be fairly straightforward. If you are looking for a little superior return, little better return in normal course of time than the broad index, this is the fund for you. And big blow-ups in the market, this fund will be able to avoid if the fund manager remains there. And
existing investors, would you recommend they continue their SIPs and not actually be worried about what they're seeing in terms of returns right now?
Absolutely. This is a must-have fund for somebody who just wants to have 1 or 2 equity fund. And there's absolutely nothing to worry. This fund does little better. As we saw through the calendar 2011, it has done it again. The fund is down 24%, but it is little better than Sensex. It's little better than BSE 200, its own benchmark.
Finally, Dhirendra, give us your rating of the HDFC Top 200 fund. Where would you place it?
I would give it a 5-star, and even on a risk-adjusted rating system, it's a 5-star fund, and has been, a 5-star fund for a long period.
5 stars there for the HDFC Top 200 fund on Investors Guide.